One thing you may or may not have noticed in Holocure is that the weapons you can get can be separated into 3 different types. There are the melee weapons, the multi-shot weapons, and the ranged weapons. This system isn't unique to Holocure and exists in other action roguelikes. One example I can think of being Wizard of Legend, where different types of arcana are buffed by different relics. However, for as interesting as this all is, it wasn't ever relevant in 0.5, with the only 2 circumstances where it mattered being the projectile up stamp and the character Minato Aqua, both of which gave buffs to the multi-shot weapons. However, in 0.6, we were introduced to a whole new batch of items, some of which buff specific weapon types. Let's start with the non-weapon specific items, of which there are 3, all 3 of which have pretty tricky unlock conditions. The first one is Researcher's Coat, which requires you to survive for 5 minutes without taking damage. Of the 3 unlock conditions of the new items, I think this one is the least bullshitty. The coat is a miscellaneous item which allows you to gain XP every 2 seconds, with the amount you get increasing so long as your health is full. Its buff can be protected by Body Pillow, and it synergizes well with Study Glass's new effect. The next item, Candy Kingdom Sweets, is a trade-off item which requires you to get the haste stat up and to level up 10 times in a single game. Considering how many levels you need to max out all the weapons and items in order to start receiving stat ups in the level up, this one's not going to be easily done, and the only way I can see it being feasible is with no weapon runs. Still, this item is actually pretty good, making it worth the effort. Candy's Kingdom Sweet increases your haste by 60% at max level, and in exchange reduces your damage to 3/4 of its original value. This is already a decent effect that will be a net benefit for characters who need more haste, but attacks also have a 10% chance to apply a second attack that deals 1/3 of the damage. It's still character specific, but nearly all trade-off items are, and it's less likely to kill you since it isn't eating away at your health. The third item, Beetle, is a stat-up item that increases the damage of your character skills. While it gives a straight-up buff with no downsides, it only works on characters who have skills that can do damage, so characters who don't have skills that can serve as secondary sources of damage won't benefit from it. However, on most healer characters that can turn healing into DPS via their skills, like Fauna or Sora, as well as characters who do damage primarily through skills like Fubuki or Matsuri, this item will be a straight-up boon. Unfortunately, it has a pretty ridiculous unlock condition. You need to beat a stage with a character without having a single skill on them. When you consider how vital a character's skills are to their gameplay, that's a pretty tall order to complete. But I suppose you could just complete stage 1 with a character with a busted starting weapon. That's how I unlocked it. The next item, Ninja Headband, is unlocked by surviving 10 minutes with Kureiji Ollie, and is a stat-up item. It increases speed as well as the damage of melee weapons. The catch is that there aren't a lot of melee weapons in the game. A good portion of the character-specific weapons are melee weapons, but there are only 3 basic melee weapons as of 0.6. Spider Cooking, Whammy Water, and Sausage. For collabs, you only have Absolute Wall, BL Fujoshi, Legendary Sausage, and Crescent Bardiche. As such, your build will be very restricted, as your selection of weapons is going to be very limited if you want to use this item to its full potential. The last new item, Focus Shades, is unlocked by surviving for 10 minutes with Vestia Zeta. It's a stat-up item that makes it so that all ranged or multi-shot weapons have an increased crit chance, and if an enemy gets hit with a crit, they'll take a large amount of damage over 5 seconds. Compared to Ninja Headband, Focus Shades is a lot less restrictive, since any weapon that isn't a melee weapon is either multi-shot or ranged, and there are more characters with multi-shot starting weapons than melee weapons. Now I'm starting to wish I didn't make my Bae video, because this item would have been absolutely busted with her. So, those are the new items. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for future videos, and happy holocuring.